Hi everyone, welcome to my cultural bag video. So in my cultural bag, the first item I have is a plant. I really love succulents. I've been doing a lot of replanting and propagating during quarantine. But I think that plants are an important part of my culture and my values. My dad is a landscaper. He owns his own landscaping business, and he has always been really big into landscaping and the environment and things like that. So I think that I've learned a lot from that, and I think that his green thumb has been passed on to me. I really enjoy it, and I'm good at it. So I think that valuing the environment and plants and caring about nature, I think that's a big part of my culture. It's something that's really important to me. We have a huge backyard and a pretty big front yard that's like fully landscaped, and it's like a family thing to take care of the yard, and my dad's doing it every day, so I just think it's something that I've always grown up valuing and enjoying to do. So I think it's really important to me. The next thing in my cultural bag is my headphones. These are noise canceling headphones, and I pretty much use them every day, but I think that it's representative of my culture because I place a big value on music in my life. I think of the hundreds of playlists that have gotten me through everything. I mean, I always turn to music, and I like a lot of different types of music, but mostly indie rock and alternative, things like that. Vance Joy is my favorite, and the Lumineers, Mount Joy. Yeah, so I think that bands like those and listening to music and having my own time to decompress and listen to music is a strong part of my culture and my family's. We're really big concert goers, which is horrible during these quarantine times because who knows the future of live music, but we have grown up loving concerts, going to them as a family. Things like that are really important. And I just think that I often find myself turning to music for comfort or strength. It's helped a lot of my mental health situations and struggles. I think that it's just something that holds a dear place in my heart because I often fall back on music. So those are my headphones. My next object is this bracelet. It's actually amethyst. And the backstory of why this represents part of my culture. I went to a rock reading place in Ottawa, Illinois with my Aunt Gayla, who I'm very close with. And they had this huge table of all these rocks, and you went through this binder, and it basically said the rock and then an issue that you need help with or something you're working on, things like that. So it was stress, love, sadness, kind of a wide variety of emotions or feelings, and then which rock would help you with that. So I picked out all these ones about stress and college and multitasking and time management and things like that. And then this woman did a rock reading, and she had me close my eyes, and I stood there, and she put the rocks around me, and I guess she said which one I felt a strong pull towards, and it ended up being this amethyst, which is really big for stress and anxiety. So I wear it every day, and I think that it's representative of parts of my culture because although I wouldn't say that I'm not religious, we in my family refer to it as spiritual. I grew up Christian, and went through all of that: baptism, first communion, confirmation. But we also used to go to the Buddhist temple, and a lot of things in my life that I would consider spiritual are maybe what someone else would see as religious. So with the spiritual path, I think that my parents, probably a little bit more my dad, has opened my mind up to spiritual paths that are non-traditional. So I sort of feel like that relates back to the amethyst bracelet, because I totally believe in like mediums, and I thought the rock reading was incredible. So things like that just kind of show me that there's, something spiritual out there. There's a higher power that is spiritual, whether you may see it as Buddha or God or, multiple gods or something like that. I just see it as like spirituality, and like it's a spirit and I believe in it. So I think that like natural life wonders, I guess, would be something that drives my spirituality. And I think that it's a journey that my parents have been on for a while, and they've taken me and my sisters into that. A lot of it spiraled from when my brother passed away when he was really little. So I think that has just like shown a lot about my family and our like interconnectedness. And we've like gone to see a medium and things like that. So I think that that's just really important to me, to find something to, believe in and send some energy to. The next thing in my bag is my sketchbook. I don't think I have something that I'm incredibly interested in sharing. I made this thing behind me. This is watercolor. But I like to have my sketchbook with me for a lot of reasons. I've always been into visual art. So, they say like, you never know, an idea like comes to you and you have to write it down or sketch it or paint it or whatever. So I like to have this with me. I'm also going into special education, and I feel like often in conversation, or even in like when I'm like watching TV and something like sparks my interest that I'm gonna want down the line when I'm actually, having my own classroom and things like that, I like need to write it down immediately or else I'm gonna forget, so like in my clinical experiences at ISU, I like had this with me and my clinical notes, and I was like doing the clinical notes, but when, she had a cool poster up or something, I was like, I want that and I need to write it down. So having a sketchbook, which is full of art and ideas, is representative of my culture, because I feel like everything I'm writing down or painting or drawing means a lot to me. And something I'm really interested in is art therapy. So looking into how art can be therapeutic, especially with individuals with disabilities. That's something that's really important to me. And I've been in art classes my whole life, so it's something that my parents have seen as value as well. And I just think that it's something that's like really close to my heart, and has, similarly to music, has helped me through a lot. I mean, I could sit and watercolor for hours. So I think it's just something that is special to me, and I've been doing it my whole life. So just like seeing the progress and like the growth of things that I've painted, or the techniques and things like that, has been really important to me. So having a sketchbook to get those ideas down really quick has been very helpful to me. And it's something that I like to have with me wherever I'm going. The sixth item in my cultural bag is a ring. It looks like this. It has 6 different stones on them, and they're all birthstones of my mom and her siblings. So my mom is one of 6, and each of her siblings has one of these birthstones. And this was my Grandma Rosie. It was hers. I was named after her, Rosemary. We were both Rosemarys. And she died before I was born. actually right before I was born, just a couple months, but I have heard so many stories about her, and my mom is, always talking about she wished I could have met her and living up to the name and everything. So when we were going through her jewelry, I loved this ring, and I just really like that each of the stones, it represents my mom's siblings, but I'm very close with them, and that represents things that I value and part of my culture because I'm very close with my family. I have a lot of cousins that I'm super close with. We vacation together, we spend a lot of time together, and that's something that I've always really valued, and my parents have always raised us that way, where looking after family and being around family is something that's really important. So I've really enjoyed growing up being close with family and having that support system. It's been something that has helped me through so much, and I have so much fun with my family. So I think that the ring showing like the interconnectedness with that, and also the fact that it's my grandma's, and even though I never met her, I feel very close with her from all the stories and the pictures. So I like to have this on every day as one of those reminders. So those are all my items in my cultural bag. So I had the plant, the ring, the bracelet, the sketchbook, and the headphones. All right, so I had to switch my camera around because the last thing in my cultural bag is my phone. And as much as it feels like a cliche, I have my phone with me every day. It keeps me connected to my friends, my family, social media, things like that. But most importantly, the part that makes it special to my culture is my love for photography. And I take so many pictures on my phone. I have literally 40,000 pictures on my laptop from like my iCloud, from my phone to my computer. But I am constantly taking pictures, taking videos, like documenting things. And I think that that is a strong part of my identity and my culture, because like I value holding on to these memories and looking back at pictures and seeing the value in that. So that's just something that like I've always enjoyed doing, and taking the pictures and looking back on them is just something really cool to me. So that's my last item in my cultural bag.